Testing. I'm loud, I'm quiet, I'm very quiet. I scream! What's going on, guys? If you're watching this, that means that we have purchased two JDM vehicles this week. One of them is sitting at home in my parkade, and the other one is gonna be on its way to the port of Yokohama pretty soon. There's been a ton of hoops that we've had to jump through to make this all happen. So in this video today, we're just gonna talk about what the last week, 2 weeks has looked like, and all the different steps that we had to make happen to make all this cool stuff happen. So the first vehicle that I picked up, which is the one that's already sitting at home in my parkade, is a 2006 Honda CR-V from Japan. So that's a RD7 with a K24. Headed over to Vancouver Island and bought that off of my good friend Kiera, who had imported it from Japan this past fall. My wife had a Canadian market CR-V for a long time. That was her first car and she was absolutely in love with it. And after that car got ridden off a few years ago, she's really wanted one again. And for me, I like CR-Vs, I think they're awesome, but if we were gonna get one, it has to be JDM. So the second vehicle is a vehicle that Dylan and I have wanted for the last little while now. It is a 2003 Toyota Alphard van. We haven't actually bought it yet, but we've got it reserved on a website in Japan right now, and our plan is to buy it at the very end of this video. Yeah, so what sparked the idea for us to get a van was back when we filmed the New Year's Touring After movie, we borrowed a Toyota Sienna minivan off of a good friend of ours, Brandon, and it was a total game changer for filming the video. It was huge, it gave us tons of space, it had sliding doors and a big hatch. And yeah, it changed the way that shooting video worked for a huge event like that. It just made things so much easier. It allowed us to put the whole team in the van, load all our gear into it, and then be able to open and close sliding doors for all sorts of different shots. And ever since then, we've been pretty hooked on the idea of, not having to climb out of Toyota Corolla windows and be able to just open the doors on a sliding van to film videos. In its addition to its utility as a media vehicle, we see the van as being a really good tool for Checkpoint. Being able to pack our friends into it, be able to put our inventory into it and go pick it up. One of our huge goals with Checkpoint is to travel a decent bit more, even just within North America, and drive down the Pacific Northwest and into Southern California and attend events. And the idea of having all your friends pack into a right-hand drive van that most people in the States have probably never even seen before, it just feels really awesome. So when we were thinking about it, we were looking for maximum reliability, comfort, style, and honestly, the Toyota Alphard just ticked every single box. It's cheap, it's reliable, it looks pretty sweet, it's got all sorts of awesome options, and yeah, we see it as being the perfect blend of utility but also style, and that's a huge part of what we do with Checkpoint. Yeah, so to make all these changes happen, there's a lot of moving pieces. One of the biggest obstacles is the fact that I live in a condominium with 2 parking stalls, and I'm already kind of pushing the boundaries by having my daily driver that my wife and I share, my S14, and a scooter that lives in a storage unit there. So first and foremost, I had to figure out kind of where we were gonna move some cars around to make all this happen. But what worked out well is my S14 needed some preseason maintenance. The weather kind of cleaned up in the first couple weeks of February here, and Dave at Unknown Automotive had some time at his shop to take my car on, and also was willing to store it for me for a bit, so that got that out of my hair. Yeah, so with my S14 at Unknown Auto for its maintenance, we were able to bring the CR-V home and sell the Tiguan just a couple days after, so it was a nice smooth transition. And now with the van that's going to be on its way soon, we've got to sort out me renting a third parking stall at my condo because Dylan doesn't have any street parking available at his house. And I'm currently going to have my S14 back home, the CR-V in a stall, so we're going to need to figure out a third stall, but I think that's going to be no problem at all. So yeah, just a couple days before filming this is when the Tiguan sold, and yesterday in the evening I was sitting at home and I checked my banking app and saw that the money cleared. So the first thing I did was call Dylan and let him know that it was go time, that we are ready to actually start the process of importing a van. So yeah, we sat on B-Ford for a little bit and selected a couple that we thought were sweet, and eventually landed on one that we've put the reservation in for. So it was on hold for 24 hours starting last night. So we've got a few hours left of it being on hold for us. So that's the one that we're planning on buying at the end of this video. So all that leads up to today. And while Dylan was waiting for me to get off work, he went to Railside Skate Park and linked up with a buddy of ours named Andrew, just to burn off some anxiety and some of the excitement he was feeling and kill some time while he's waiting for us to set up and order this van.
Disrespect me, you gon' see another version, do me dirty. You gon' meet another person, been around that always care, but she no virtue. Yeah, the Zannies take away the pain, I'm hurting, when I'm hurting, yeah. But that bitch you know, cause she is bad. Give you all the things you never had. You don't need a boy, you need a man. I don't need no bitch, I need a bag. Yeah, I need a bag, little bitch. I ain't really fucking with you, Instagram, little bitches. 2 long years in the pen, closed mouth. Really from Chicago, I got guns in this house. You want a rockstar, walk car, sweet.
So after Dylan was done filming that video and I got off work, we linked up and we headed to Surrey to pick up a set of wheels that are really special to me. I actually bought back the R32 GTR wheels that came on the R33 that I imported back in 2016. So we took the wheels over to Neil and Tyson's shop at SCG, where they dismounted the old tires and we got the all-terrains ordered up. And I know that it might feel a little bit like clickbait seeing 2 JDM vehicles in the title of this video, with them not really being the most typical JDM cars that people get excited about. But for us as Checkpoint, vehicles like this serve a huge purpose. And with the way that the car market is here right now, it makes way more sense to get these cars out of Japan. They're better maintained, they have lower kilometers, they have way cooler options. I mean, the CR-V has a fridge, for God's sake. And when it comes to the vans, the Japanese ones can't be beat. Like, for the same amount of money as buying a late model Sienna or a Honda Odyssey, we're able to get something that's newer, lower kilometers, and a whole hell of a lot cooler from Japan. Just the fact that it's right-hand drive is pretty rad, but the fact that they have all sorts of interesting options, power sliding doors, 8 seats, the way that the seats fold up, like, this is stuff that we never got in the market here that we get excited about. And hell, maybe it's us just getting old that we think this stuff is super cool, but I don't think so. I think that cars from Japan are timeless, and there's something exciting about being able to drive something that wasn't sold in this market. Yeah, and just before we get on with it and order this van, I just want to point out that we've got cool new designs coming your way soon, as well as another design that we've been working on really hard for the last little while that'll be coming a little bit later. So shout out to Duncan Brooks for being an awesome graphic designer, and yeah, stay tuned. We've got a lot of cool new stuff that's going to be coming to the store. Let's just start editing, and we just bought a van. Suki's new van.